Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dirty Martini. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having an amazing day. Today's episode will be a bit shorter, and I will immediately explain to you why. I want, no, I need to be silent for at least 3 days in a row. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want anybody to talk to me. I just need to be alone. I need to decompress. Now, why? Well, I'm back in the Netherlands, and since we last spoke, I have become a half-free woman. What I mean by this is that I submitted my thesis, finally, and let me just say that this has been really freeing, but there is this lump in my throat still, and I think it won't go away until I know my results, which should be next week, but we'll see. They usually say we'll give you your results within 2 weeks, and then it takes a month and a half. So I'm not counting on their promises. But yeah, at least for the time being, the thesis is done, and all that's left to do is the final group project. And by the time you actually hear this, if everything went well, that will also have been submitted. In reality, we are waiting for just one more group member to finish their part of our assignment. So realistically, in a few hours, I will officially be done with all assignments for my degree, which in itself is kind of crazy to think about right now. And honestly, I don't have the mental and emotional capacity to go down that hole, which is exactly why I feel the need to isolate myself for a bit. I just want to submit it. I want to close my laptop and then rot in bed. My plan for the weekend is to not speak a single word. I don't want to socialize. I don't want to see a single person. After we submit the assignment, I will go do my groceries for the next few days so that I don't have any incentives to go out, and I will avoid society with everything in me. And also, my friend just gifted me Matthew Perry's autobiography, so all I will be doing the next few days is read. The only people I will be talking to are my parents, who I will be calling in the evenings to let them know that I'm still alive. But apart from that, don't expect anything else from me. Don't reach out to me. That's just how I recharge. I know extroverts who feel no need to be left alone for a good day or two to recharge their batteries. Those people hate being alone. And that just couldn't be me. I love my me time. I love going on walks alone with my playlist, and I love staying home doing absolutely nothing but existing and just decompressing by doing so. Honestly, if I don't have my alone time, I become a danger to society and a danger to myself. I get mean and I get burnt out. I took a personality test a few weeks ago at work because it was so busy and my colleague and I didn't know what to do. So we were just like, hey, let's give this a try. It was like the 14 personalities test one or whatever. I'm not sure. We did it on his phone. So, the results show that I am almost evenly split between being an extrovert and an introvert, but I'm leaning more on the introvert side, which is kind of ironic considering that I have a podcast, but that's life. But yeah, I just think that I'm wired to require alone time. My social batteries are pretty long lasting, but still they need to be recharged. And for me not to be a detrimentally weak link in society, I need to be left alone. I haven't had alone time in forever. I've been like recently I've been constantly with people, be it at work or out and about, and I love my friends. I really do. I would kill for them. But for me to be a good friend and for me to be a good person to others and to myself, I need to be left alone for a second to let my head air out. I haven't had the time to be by myself and reflect on everything that's going on. And there has been a lot that's going on. I have been living life on autopilot recently, and I'm just exhausted by this. I haven't had the chance to sit down and face what I have had to face. Everything has been so dynamic, and it's just been exhausting. That is why I'm not particularly mad that the Netherlands doesn't have dorms in the sense of sharing a room with people. Like, everything here is on the private market, which means that it's 10 times more expensive than if it was like dorms. But like, yeah, so everything is private market, but the thing is, most offering give you your own room, and you share the kitchen and the bathroom, for example, with other people. And that is also my living situation as well. I live with 4 other people, but I have my own bedroom, and that room, it is my safe space. I grew up sharing a room with my sister until she moved away for university, and I didn't know particularly that there is the option for privacy. Privacy in the sense of being alone. And now, having had my own bedroom for a few years, I just cannot imagine going back to sharing a room with someone, which I know is super privileged of me to say, and I'm not taking it for granted whatsoever. And when I think about living with a partner in the future, I do get scared because, well, you know what? Let's not go there right now. Basically, I have my own bedroom, so I have a space to isolate myself in for a few hours, or now, hopefully, for a few days. And I'm super thankful about that. If I were constantly surrounded by people, I would definitely go insane. And the thing is, I'm the same when traveling or spending a few days in a row with someone. I need a solid few hours of not talking to you. Otherwise, it would be the end of our relationship. I don't make the rules. So it's just safe to assume now that I have been looking forward to this weekend in particular for quite some time now. And 2 weeks ago, I realized that it will be this Friday that is the beginning of my alone time, and I've been counting down the days. I don't have work, I don't have any more assignments, and for 48 hours, I won't have any significantly life-changing responsibilities. So I just want to rot in bed and feel disgusting and unproductive by Sunday evening. I just desperately need to feel lazy, and I cannot wait to do that. The fact that laziness is something I struggle with in the sense that I just hate feeling lazy, in the sense of feeling unproductive. So that is a whole another topic in itself. And I blame capitalism on it. And I would love to go further into that, but let's not focus on the negative right now. So what I'm trying to say is, If you're looking for me from Friday to Sunday, don't. Just don't look for me. If you need me, no, you don't. I will be in my room, in my bed. I will only sleep, eat, read Matthew Perry's autobiography, and watch shitty reality TV, and then repeat. I love shitty, plotless, brain rot, meaningless reality television. I just love watching reality television, which as you're watching, you can sense that your brain cells are dying in agony. And I know they're bad for me, but I was so selective with who I let in my life that I don't have any drama or gossip around me anymore, which honestly is how I prefer it. But that being said, I don't love being part of any drama, but I love listening to people's drama. And that's all that reality TV productions are. I do realize that they're not real. I do realize that they're fully fabricated, but they're also super entertaining. Basically, I love relaxing by watching shows which I would be ashamed to admit I'm watching, and which, if my teachers knew I was watching, would take away my media diploma. But, okay, this will sound terrible, but I just love watching content that makes me feel better about myself. Because I'm also stupid, and I also make terrible mistakes. But at least I have chosen not to do it in the public eye, on the biggest streaming platform. But also that is why I am poor. Well, you cannot have your cake and eat it, I guess. Guys, I was about to beat the man up, and I honestly kind of regret not doing it. He definitely deserved it. So it happened on my flight from Bulgaria to the Netherlands. I was in the aisle seat. As we've already discussed multiple times, the aisle seat is the place to be. So yeah, and the middle seat, the one next to me, was empty. So a man who apparently knew the woman in the window seat woke me up to sit in that middle seat. And no, I didn't beat him up because he woke me up, because I had only slept 3 hours that night because I had to submit my thesis. The reason I wanted to beat him up is because he made me so angry when we landed. Now, I don't know if you're like this, but I'm not one of those idiots who get up the second the plane touches the ground. If you are, go sit in a corner, think about your actions, and do better. I want a 5-page essay on why your actions are unacceptable. Now, apparently, that man was one of those people. And on that flight in particular, he was one of the many. So, for whatever reason, when we landed, they only opened the front door of the plane and everyone had to disembark from there. And I was sitting in the back rows, seat 23C to be precise. Just imagine how pissed off I was that I still remember my seat number. So yeah, we landed, they opened the front door and people started disembarking in like big groups. And that stupid creature that was sitting next to me got up and like, I'm not stupid. I could recognize that he wanted to get out, but also there was no way for me to move even a millimeter to make space for him. We've already covered this in a previous episode that budget airlines are not spacious. And Basically, the aisles in particular, when they're crowded with people, they're just a bloodbath. And I would like to very much be excluded from this narrative, which is why I sit while those people who are in a rush to get off the plane, get off the plane. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that there was no chance that I could get up and get on the aisle, like get in the aisle, because there was no space whatsoever. But that moron was determined. And he told me, come on, get up. Now, I don't know how, but I was able to keep myself calm and collected throughout the entire interaction, which is so not me. I think it might have been because I was too tired to argue, which usually when I'm too tired to argue is when things go south. But in that particular instance, I was very respectful and very civil. And I wish I could say the same about him. So he's just lucky he didn't catch my version from a few years ago, because she definitely wouldn't have let him leave the plane without teaching him a lesson. But we're growing up and we are rebranding, I guess. So he tells me, come on, get up. And I told him in the calmest tone possible, Sir, as you can see, I'm not able to get up currently. And he started yelling at me. He started yelling, I'm not going to wait for everyone to get off the plane. Get up now. And oh my God, the next thing makes my blood boil. Like, I wish I could go back and slap him. So after he says that I should get up, I began saying, Sir, I understand, but... And I had just said, Sir, and that... I'm not even going to call him names, because he doesn't deserve it, but like, he started pushing me. That thing started fully pushing me. And again, kept on yelling, come on. So I told him, Sir, please don't touch me. But like, without a single change in my tone whatsoever. Like, I was very calm and collected, again. And he kept on pushing me. And the people in the line saw that this was about to escalate, so everyone moved and made way for me to get up and walk, so that I want to call him something bad, but I know my mom is listening, so that respected gentleman can leave. How dare you push me? Not to make it a gender thing, but I'm certain that if I weren't a woman, he wouldn't dare to touch me. He'd just wait, because he'd know that you don't mess with strangers and you don't touch strangers. But because I'm a woman, he felt like it was appropriate. Like, I feel like he felt like I couldn't defend myself. If I weren't by myself, but were with a man, for instance, like, it would be the same. He'd just sit and wait patiently. But because I'm visibly younger, visibly alone, and, well, visibly a woman, he felt entitled to push me. At first, I felt super embarrassed for whatever reason, but then I realized that I have literally not done anything wrong, and he was the one who was being absolutely unreasonable. So, to that man, piss off. I hope I never see you again. And if you feel entitled to push random women, I don't even want to think what you could be allowing yourself behind closed doors. I just hope you never touch a woman or feel the touch of a woman again. I just genuinely cannot understand how someone can be so stupid. If you want to be the first to disembark, then book a seat in the front row. It's not rocket science. So, sir, wherever you are, I hope it rains. And I hope when you get a new jacket, a bird shits on it the first time you wear it out. Okay, guys, I have a new obsession. I realized that I'm not as flexible as I want to be. Like, I can just touch my feet and that's it. Maybe I need to remind you that I'm a retired competitive trampoline gymnast. So that's just not good at all. I mean, I was never too flexible or anything, which I know sounds like a bit of a, what do you call those? My mind went fully blank. What do you call those? Paradox. I know it sounds like a paradox. Because like an unflexible? I don't know, man. But like non-flexible gymnast, yeah, that doesn't sound right. But yeah, my lack of flexibility at this point is just embarrassing considering my past. And I have decided to start doing more mobility and flexibility stretches and just flex on everyone with my splits in the middle of a party sometime. But the thing is, I go through this phase every year at least 3 times. And I always put it on my bucket list, on my New Year's resolution list. And I just never do it. I go, oh my God, I'm so stiff. I can barely do anything. And then I start stretching like crazy for a week or so, like every day, like heavy stretching every day for a limited amount of time. And after that, I just stop. But my intention with telling you right now is to have it on record and have you hold me accountable for this. I will keep you posted on my splits journey because I just want to make a habit out of it. And I think for me to do this, first of all, I need to start with small steps, like shorter routines, maybe 5 to 10 minutes every day, which I could realistically include easily after my daily workout or like when I wake up or before I go to bed. But I think it is a universal experience that there's a whole another level of laziness that gets triggered when it comes to stretching. I can easily do a 1 hour high intensity workout, but adding extra 5 minutes to stretch? Now, that's asking too much. But I promise to try my best. Like the other day, I found this YouTube account of this girl who does stretching videos. And I swear that girl doesn't have bones. And I played one of her for beginners video. And oh my God, I am apparently below a beginner. Like she shows on one side of the screen how she does the move, and then on the other side of the screen she shows a modification for people who are not able to do the normal version. I couldn't do the modifications. It's that bad. Like, she's a literal child, but I won't lie to you, I did curse at her a bit. And I apologize. I know she's only trying to help me, so I'm sorry. I won't do it again, or at least I'll try not to do it again. But I think the real question is, will I do any of her videos again? I guess only time will tell. No, stop. I am dedicating myself to this. Here, And now, on this podcast, I am promising you this very minute, I'm promising you and me that I will stretch and will be able to do the splits. I can already do the front left, so I have the front right and the middle to do, which I've always sucked at, especially the middle one. I've never been able to do that, but I don't know. Maybe this year is my year, she said in the middle of the year. But I don't know. We'll just see. And then another obsession I currently have, or not an obsession, but whatever you want to call it, is me learning German. Or maybe it will be correct to say relearning German. Now, the thing is, I was in a language high school, and I was in the German class, and not to toot my own horn, but I was really good at German. But over time, my teachers stopped caring, and because they saw that we stopped caring, so they just let us do whatever we wanted. And even sometimes they would just not show up to class. And at the time, I thought this was the coolest thing to ever happen in my life. Your teacher not showing up and you going to a cafe or taking a walk instead of being in class and getting examined, verbally examined in front of other 25 people. I thought that was very slaveful. Yeah. 16-year-old me, she didn't realize that they weren't doing her a favor by letting her go out and about instead of teaching her something. But 22-year-old me definitely realizes that this was an absolute disfavor. Now, I definitely don't want to put all the blame on my teachers because, we as students definitely have fault in the situation. But guys, teachers are so important. Teachers that motivate you. Teachers that are eager to teach you. Teachers who want you to grow. Not the teachers that drag you to the finish line, but the teachers that motivate you to get to the finish line by yourself. And I think I only realized the importance of teachers when I came to university and I met 2 or 3 actually good teachers. Teachers, people who are passionate about what they do, and their passion, their energy are so contagious that you cannot help but want to learn, be it even just to impress them or have a conversation with them or and because everyone can get their education to become a teacher, but not everyone is destined to be a teacher. Basically, everyone can be a teacher, but not everyone can be a teacher. And I'm thankful I had the chance in my life to come across teachers and to see how fundamental they are. Those are people not only with knowledge, but with skills, with talent, with gifts. So yeah, I'm again straying away from the topic. What's new? So back to the German language. So over the years, my German knowledge, because I haven't been practicing the language whatsoever, so that level of knowledge I had has diminished significantly. And I feel like that is such a shame because I had a big passion for German. I don't care what people say about the language. They say that it's harsh and that it's ugly and that it makes no sense. I don't care about that stuff. I don't agree with that stuff. I love German. I love the way it sounds. I love its complex grammar, to which I personally find a lot of logic once you get the hang of it. And I just love the challenge that German basically embodies. And I have been thinking about picking up German again for quite some time now. And I actually have watched Too Hot to Handle Germany. I've already mentioned it this episode. I love shitty reality TV, and it doesn't get shittier than Too Hot to Handle. So, yeah. So I watched Too Hot to Handle Germany, and I understood everything. And I was so proud of myself, to be honest. Like, I didn't expect this because I hadn't read a full-on German, like a full-on text in German since 2021. And I hadn't watched a movie in German since 2020. So it's been a long time. And like, of course, on Too Hot to Handle, they're not having any profound conversations. But I was proud that I was still able to understand at least conversational German. But there were a few instances at work which really pushed me to go 2 days ago to the library and borrow some language course books because, okay, buying textbooks, buying like courses is so expensive. Like everybody says knowledge is power, but nobody tells you that knowledge is a super expensive luxury, which if you choose to treat yourself to, you will have to not eat for a month. So yeah. Anyways, so at work I had this group of older people come in and I started the conversation in English and they were struggling a bit to talk in English. And at first I thought, oh my God, okay, so they're Dutch. Yeah, that makes sense. But then I heard that they were talking in German to each other. So I asked them in German if they wanted to talk in German. And they were very happy initially and immediately agreed. And I just asked them before we started to speak, like I asked them to speak slowly so that I can understand them because with no practice, I need some more time to comprehend what's being said to me. I need to fully focus. So yeah. And then they were like at first fully agreeing and like fully understanding. And then they proceeded to speak 2 words in German and 2 words in English for the entirety of our interaction. And I felt like I was having a stroke. Like, babe, none of those languages is my native language. So if I've offered you to speak one of the 2, stick to one. How come when I wanted to have the conversation in English, you didn't want to? But when I offered to speak in German, you pulled this number on me? And the same thing happened the other day with 2 guys. Like, they were, oh, do you speak German? Like, in German. And I was like, yes, a little bit. And we started talking in German. Everything is going fine. And like midway, they switch fully to English. And I'm like, is my German that bad that they suddenly become fluent in a language that they didn't speak 2 minutes prior? And yeah, I don't know. That just like, it made me feel super, I wouldn't say embarrassed, but like uncomfortable for whatever reason. Because I'm trying my best. And I just need you to show me the tiniest bit of compassion and patience. And then I talked about these interactions with a colleague of mine, and he started listing all the languages he speaks. And as far as I remember, I think he spoke 7 languages. And that just made me feel like a complete failure. So now I'm determined to learn how to speak German properly so that I never have to be in such a situation ever again in my life. Also, my dream in life is to be able to speak Spanish. So once I master hopefully German. That will be my next on my to-do list. So yeah, I just don't want to be belittled or made feel uncomfortable for not being good enough for the language when I'm actively trying to establish proper communication, or like not proper, but like sufficient communication. So I immediately went to the library after my shift ended and took a textbook in German. And yeah, that's what I'll be doing as well on the week, like during the weekend. And honestly, also, I have been looking for quite some time for shows and YouTubers to watch in German, but I cannot find ones that interest me. Because like also my search bar is German vloggers, and it just shows me, oh, a vlog of like a day of my life speaking German. And I'm like, that's not what I'm interested in. So yeah, anyways. So if you have any recommendations, I would be more than happy to hear them. And I've also tried to listen to podcasts in German, but I think that is a bit too advanced for me right now. Maybe in the future I will revisit that. But like watching movies and series and YouTube videos in the language you want to learn is, I think, crucial. Because like you get to hear like the intonation, and you get to hear pronunciation, and like you can pick up a lot of things from the context. And I remember when I was first learning English, I would go on YouTube and watch like the small snippets from the Ellen Show that they would post on their account. Now, I'm not saying anything about the person behind the show, but I'm saying that it definitely helped me with improving my language skills. And the same goes with Friends, to be honest. Like when I first started watching it, I just grabbed a notebook and wrote down every single word I didn't know. And at the time, that was me writing down every single word from every single line. And I tried to memorize it afterwards. Now, to be honest, my laziness took over after a few episodes because it was too overwhelming, and I just stopped doing that. But I still remember learning the word flan from that show. So, Friends taught me something. And also, another interesting thing is that no matter how well I speak English, or let's say how well I think I speak English, I just cannot, for the life of me, watch something without subtitles. Like, if I watch something in English with no subtitles in English, it's like I'm hearing gibberish. I just hate it. Not having subtitles means that I cannot have snacks because I can hear myself chew. And it also means I need to fully focus on hearing what they're saying. And that is just so exhausting. Basically, if there are no subtitles, I cannot hear a word. That's why I don't like going to the cinema too often because, okay, so when I was in the UK and the movie was in English, there weren't any subtitles because it is the official language of the country. So that makes total sense. Like, I wouldn't expect Bulgarian movies to have Bulgarian subtitles, although I think this would make them accessible to people who have hearing problems. So that is something to consider if you're someone working in cinema and listening to this. So yeah, and then when I go to the cinema in the Netherlands and watch an English language production, naturally the subtitles are in Dutch. And the same goes for Bulgaria. The subtitles are in Bulgarian. Like, I love the cinema. I think that there are movies which can only and should only be watched in the cinema because it is an entirely different experience than watching a movie at home. But I would just love to have the option to choose the subtitles of the projection I'm going to. Considering how a single cinema ticket costs an arm and a leg in this economy, that should be an option. So, again, if you're someone who works in movies and you're listening to this is also something to consider. So, about my German skills, I was thinking of rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but like dubbed in German, because I thought if I'm already familiar with the context and the plot, I can fill in the gaps of any like subtleties of the language like that I would potentially miss. But then I realized that when it comes to comedy, it is so difficult to translate it properly. Comedy, puns, and any humor related like scenes or like lines are so difficult to translate because there is just so much context and so much culture, and it is the littlest, like the smallest details, like intonation and pronunciation, which can make or break a joke. So I've decided not to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine in German because it will just not be the same experience. Like, it will not be the experience I'm looking to find. What I'm trying to say is that I am waiting for the second season of Too Hot to Handle Germany. So better step up and produce it and release it soon. That being said, guys, I need to shut up now and disconnect from the world. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you next week as well. I'd advise you to disconnect for a day as well, if you have the opportunity to, and to live in the offline world, even if it's just for the day. And like ground yourself and detox from all the mess that is going on in the internet. So stay hydrated, wear sunscreen, and don't support genocide. Bye!